My name is Eliese Kurtzweg. I've been with the Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration in their mother house in Mishawaka, Indiana, for a few months, but I'm from the Fort Wayne side of the diocese originally. I first found Redeemer Radio when I was in high school. A religion teacher that I had was giving us suggestions for Lenten practices, and she said she had given up music in the car and would also listen to Redeemer Radio or Drive in Silence. And so I started to do that practice as well, and that's when I started to intentionally listen to Redeemer Radio. It was in high school, but it really helped me in college during my long commutes back and forth from home to the university or the hospitals. I would listen to Redeemer Radio. I have gotten a lot from Redeemer Radio. I think that often we are surrounded by a lot of noise from the culture and the secular world. And a lot of times the noise is either neutral or it's bad. It's not speaking truth. But when I turn on Redeemer Radio, I can know that this is the truth and God is actually speaking through the radio, which is pretty incredible. I actually remember one instance when I was driving back home. There was a lot of traffic. I was at a stoplight before getting on a highway, and I turned on the radio, and it was Redeemer Radio, and I was really caught up in my thoughts. But then I got tuned into what the priest was saying, and he started talking about the extravagant love of God and how He is a lover that is constantly after us. And it really cut me to the heart. It was very powerful, and it was just through the radio. But that is, God uses ordinary means, even, the radio to speak to you. So, yeah, that was a very powerful moment, and I was able to really meditate on His presence with me right then and there in the car. And oftentimes, I'd be driving early to a clinical or to class, and every semester I'd find out, okay, what shows on Redeemer Radio at 5 a.m.? Whether it was Fulton Sheen or the Rosary or the Divine Mercy Chaplet at 3. Yeah, every time I could enter back into a prayerful presence before going into a stressful situation or just the monotony of everyday life. And yeah, it really helped my prayer life develop that constant prayer and the presence of God that's always with us, even through the radio. Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that Redeemer Radio did indirectly help me with my vocation, listening to God. Vocation, what that is it's always God calling you deeper to Himself. Jesus pursuing you and you saying the yes, no matter what that is. And something that really helped me was the truth that I heard about who He is and who I am through the radio. And then developing that prayer life and that listening to Him through the radio, through what the priest was saying, through the Rosary, meditation on the mysteries, the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Yeah, I think it did. It actually very much did help me with my vocation. I think that the Fort Wayne South Bend Diocese needs Catholic radio because it is such an outlet or a place for people to tune into to hear the truth of who they are and what God wants them to know. And I think especially for moments when you're just driving or, sometimes we can get lost in our thoughts or just going through the motions. But God wants to enter into every moment, even the boring drive or whatever it is. And that can be through Redeemer Radio. God wants to speak to you, and it's just a matter of us listening, and He can do that through the radio. So I think that, yes, it's very necessary.